17 consecutive monthly declines for leading indicators. I think it's time to say that the recession is here and the market is suffering. And the market isn't the only thing suffering. I have an abrasion right now, a 4mm cut on my eye, which I don't know if you've ever hurt an eye, but they're really sensitive. You might think, oh, it just hurts to open this one. I'll just leave it closed and I'll trade with this eye. I tried that for a few hours till the point I was like, okay, I've been crying for 3 hours straight because when your eye hurts, you can't stop crying and then your nose won't stop running. My sinuses were going crazy until I finally had my eye appointment well after the market closed yesterday. So we missed some of the moves. It was awful. Terrible. But hey, sometimes you poke yourself in the eye like an idiot. I don't think anyone's ever done that, just me. But hey, we're going to actually talk about the market too. No worries. I'm just so frazzled by this. And I can already feel the sensitivity from my eye from the lights that I use to properly light myself. So let's knock this one out. If you remember the Discord, you would know that on Wednesday kind of had like a okay day of trading. I tried to actually go bullish on Tesla, and as you see Tesla right now is doing awful. Last week report, I was talking about how Tesla looked like it was set up to do really well. We've seen the stock completely turn over with the rest of the market, but then I ended up recovering a lot of that by shorting, and then after a kind of iffy day of trading, I went crazy and I did tons of charting. I asked people what stocks they wanted me to chart. We did a bunch of Elliott wave analysis, and the trend that I spotted was that everything looks terrible. And then JP Morgan also put out their report on what they see for the future. And then I realized that they're even more bearish than me. So I had a great mindset coming into the end of the week. We actually had a great day of trading for the Discord members. Coming to the end of the day, I shared this in the Discord. I said, I was piddling, coming in with some small positions, starting all the way down here. I actually held some short positions all the way up. I was watching the tape. I saw huge put prints coming in through the tape. I got short right here. I think there was one more candle up, and then I loaded up, and then, of course, we got the plunge into the close. Pretty dramatic plunge. We saw, we did get a soft break of that 430. It was 429.99 though. So then a small recovery that doesn't really matter. And this market looks like it wants to go lower. Now, even as I say that though, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a B wave coming up. Now, just watch this level because this is a pretty critical level, right? It's a little bit lower on the 0.618, 429.73. Do I get that exact when I use Fibonacci's? Never. But when I'm looking at the daily, I'm also saying that, like, hey, this does not look like it's ready to turn over. So I would be looking for the 420. Because of that, I did swing some of my positions as well into the close. Make sure to take some profits, though. Manage that risk. Get the profits right in front of you, okay? The future is always less certain. If you're looking at money, you're looking at good returns right there. Take some of that off. Manage that risk. Always manage that risk. So, and also when I'm looking at the 4 hour still doesn't look that healthy. We're seeing another print on the RSI. Remember, RSI is great momentum, right? As we come to a very oversold, yeah, you might chop up a little bit, but it usually means that more lows are on the way. For 1 hour, same thing. Very bearish, even though this turned over, still not getting the price action. 30-minute also holding up. 15 and 5-minute also look rough as well. By the way, the 5-minute and the 15-minute are what I'm using when I'm doing short-term trading, right? Now, the 1 minute would have helped you if you were trying to time this like I did. You see that this is turning over on the TTM. You see the RSI rollover as well. We got that breakthrough right here, actually. And if you see it chop and test the support of the SMA twice and then still print down, there were so many signals for this, not even just that big put print. If you're looking at the time stuff like this, that's one of those setups where you see it, you can move. And you could put some size in that position. And when you got some experience in this, you'll see the moments where you're like, oh, I can play into this and I can bring in some size. Not a whole lot of risk. You'll know when the stars align and that moment hits once you get some more experience in trading. If you're not already there yet. I don't know where you're at if you're watching this video. So when I'm looking at this though, I'm saying, hey, there could be a potential bounce here. It doesn't look the most likely, but it could potentially happen. By the way, if you retail traders can't get a hold of JP Morgan, our institutional data, but I will say that they hinted at the fact that in 2024 they're expecting retest of 2020 lows. Okay, so just keep in mind where that's at. 450. If you're a long-term investor, or 350. Sorry, if you're a long-term investor, keep that in mind. Okay, I would just keep that in mind. Even if you sit on cash and wait for that. Maybe you're in energy right now, like I was, and you're enjoying these energy rallies. Keep in mind, maybe you want to take some of that cash and start accumulating some cash, because it looks like next year is going to be really rough. And we're saying that for a minute too. So I don't think it's really new information, but just reading that on paper from probably one of the best banks, I think is significant. And I'll just briefly touch on the video because the video is so popular. I've done the Fibonacci several different ways on this one. Again, this is the computer's Elliott waves, not mine, but they're very similar to what I had as well. It's one of the few where we actually align. And either way I look at these fibs, it looks like 350 is coming. I wouldn't say that this is going to be a short-term move for the stock. Again, it's trying to show a B wave bounce, which it was also saying, when we were $20 higher. So I wouldn't put a lot of conviction into that. I have no position on the stock. I will just say that below 400, I think this stock's a buy. If it goes to 350, I think it's a must buy. If you want to hold, for the next 10 years, I don't know how you don't have NVIDIA in your portfolio. With where the tech is right now and what all the hype is, I think NVIDIA is the next Apple type stock where you kind of just have to have it in your portfolio. I just am not very keen on buying it right now, especially when I do, a more broad technical analysis here, like on QQQ. And this is one of the ones I shared in the Discord. I have 348 as your support here at ABC. I would keep an eye, though, on the 354. I was talking to my mentor's mentor. The guy who taught me Elliott waves, the guy who taught him is who I was talking to back and forth a bit on this. And we both kind of aligned, though. And I'm seeing that QQQ's got further down to go. SPY's got further down to go. The Russell 2000 stocks like Square right now. I mean, I have this going all the way down to $16.80. I know some other technicians are saying even lower than that for this stock. PayPal as well. Not only just Square, but other players in this space. It is not looking hot on the technicals. This looks like a dumpster fire. I have not seen the technicals look this awful for this company in a while. And there's a few companies like this that just do not look good. We saw multiple companies break some pretty critical supports and are pretty much in free fall right now. Looks pretty awful for me. I am short Square. By the way, the Peach Pit just put out a report as well. So if you're more of a fundamental guy, you want a fundamental reason for why you should probably be bearish on this company. Okay, to end the report, we got to cover some of these headlines real quick. Okay, first one's going to be government shutdown. Shutdown could occur on October 1st. Online betting markets see a 69% chance of the federal government shutting down. Now, Tyler Durden here is implying that it could trigger the recession start signal. Maybe that's for the broader market. I think recession's already here. If that's what it takes for other people to wake up to it, whatever. But this could be a big downprint for the market. So please have this, on the mind. And then we also need to talk about the GDP numbers that are coming up. I think GDP is about to tumble. We've seen lots of revisions, and and we should also be aware of these revisions month over month. We keep getting these prints that don't seem that bad, but the next month they revise it lower, and then it does look pretty bad. And that's because a lot of the methodologies that they use for tracking this data, whether it's the jobs numbers or the manufacturing numbers, they're pretty outdated and they're not very accurate. So it's like in hindsight that we get the more accurate information. So it's important to go back and look at that And I've mentioned this before in the weekly reports, but I think a lot of that is now catching up to us. And I think you're going to see some of those prints. And that's why overall, I think we're pretty clearly out of that 5-wave theory where we're going to get a big rally into the end of the year. I still think that we'll likely see a rally into the end of the year, maybe a C wave, but I don't think it's going to be the prints to all-time highs that a lot of people saw the potential for. Now, as always, ChatGPT 5, some big AI improvement that solves everything, the magic pill that causes the euphoria to come back. It's still not off the table. So, hey, that's what I'm seeing. This is the week report, of course. So we're not talking about the end of the year yet. We'll let that come when it comes. So I'm just saying next week or the week after that even doesn't look all that great. It's the two rough months, you know? I got pinned on my Twitter. August 29th. Market's going to chop or it's going to go down. What did it do? It chopped and then it went down. Welcome to September. This is what September is. So, hey, we're making tons of money though. This is your one-eyed trader saying peace, and I will see you on the next report, hopefully with 2 eyes.